The more corrupt the state, the more numerous the laws, Tacitus. The greater number of laws and enactments, the more thieves and robbers there will be, Lat-Su. A state is better governed which has but few laws, and those laws strictly observed, Descartes. Now when I think of those three quotes, I immediately think of the opposite of that. The more corruption, the more laws, the less corruption, the less laws. In an ideal world, we'd only have one law. And I've talked about this many times, and there's three ways I can illustrate this one law. One is to use the Essene Gospel of Peace. One law, thou shalt not kill. Don't kill man, nor beast, nor the food that goes into your mouth. For if you eat living food, the same will quicken you. But if you kill your food, the dead food will kill you also. For only life comes from life, and from death always death. That really makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? One law, paradise. The second way we can explain the same law is one of my favorites. It's what I've used all the time. And I say we have to have a minimal biophoton level. Now that gives us a little more leeway. Might not have to be 100%. We don't know for sure what that minimal level is. And also this allows us to gradually increase that as we get more momentum. Once we reach a tipping point, I think it's going to be a no-brainer. No one's going to want to go back and do that anymore. Now the third way, I've told this story before also. Let's just say I'm God, and I want to make it real simple for my children. I'll tell them there's a simple story to stay in paradise, in Rose's garden, in Rose's paradise. And that is that there are two trees in one law. Two trees, one law. The two trees have to stay separate. The first tree is the trees of life. If we nurture the trees of life, we'll get all of our needs, and it will nourish us. If we simply went around the planet and planted a forest everywhere, this planet would be paradise everywhere. One law, we got to nurture those trees, and we got to keep the other tree, this tree of knowledge, separate. The tree of knowledge are all the things that we master. And the thing about the things we master, it's like all new knowledge. It has the potential for creating evil if we apply it to things we need, which is how we live. And the opposite of live is evil, and that's what the word means. So, you got to keep the two trees separate. Simple. And remember, when you look at that tree of knowledge, I've identified 5 main things we've mastered that drastically change the fate of mankind. The very first thing is the fire. Goes back to the cooking of the food. So it's all one simple story. Am I a broken record? You bet I am, because I know how simple it is. It's ridiculous what everything else we're doing. Everything else we do when we try to solve a problem is always a downstream solution. If we don't correct the very first of all 5 of these mistakes, we're kind of wasting our time. Because if we did that, we wouldn't make the other mistakes, and then we'd have all of our senses, we'd have paradise. We wouldn't have all these problems that are within our control, which is what paradise is. It's not immortality. Who would want to live forever if we're going to be miserable as we get older? That's not the solution. The solution is to live the right way. When you can wake up to that reality, my friends, you're in for a treat.